Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm so happy to have you back today for a new reading. I hope that all of you are doing amazing today and having a wonderful day. So in today's reading, I want to ask the question of why are things finally going to start to move forward for you or start to happen? Okay, so this reading is going to be for those of you who will be getting unstuck, and this is going to be your guidance from Spirit as to why you're finally able to move forward and why are things finally starting to happen for you. So I do want to start with the tarot cards for today's reading. Let's see what is the guidance for you guys. Why are things, Spirit, finally going to start to happen for this collective? For those who are being reached by this exact message, why are things finally starting to move forward for them? Wow, the Ten of Pentacles. So I feel like this is going to be in terms of like wealth, finances, perhaps career progression as well. So within your career, within money, why are things finally starting to move forward? Queen of Wands, because you're starting to be yourself. Isn't that so beautiful though? Isn't that like also one of the, I feel it's the best thing to hear, right? That things are finally starting to move forward because you're finally allowing your authenticity to showcase itself. Queen of Wands is indicating to me that a lot of you are finally embodying your authentic energy and you're starting to present yourself as if you're already arriving where you're supposed to be. Okay, so this is the energy of like you are showing up. You're not attracting something, you're not chasing something, you're showing up, and it's gonna feel like this was always meant to be your spot. That's how you're going to present yourself, as if this was always meant to be your spot. This was always meant to be your position. A lot of you could maybe be creatives. With the Queen of Wands, there's a lot of possibility that this reading will attract like a lot of creative people, musicians, people who aspire to be maybe famous or be celebrities. You're finally being yourself. Okay, let's see the rest of the cards. The Devil card, wow. And we also have a Two of Pentacles. So the Devil, like you have been, I feel, restricting yourself. You know, the Devil, it's like you have been, maybe you've fallen for some like lies or like illusions that maybe you have been taking as like truth for a while. Maybe you were believing things that were not true in the way of like maybe you thought that you needed to fit in order to be successful, or you needed to maybe follow a specific formula in order to be successful. I know there's so much advice nowadays on the internet, and you know, maybe you heard some things that weren't actually true and you took it as advice, right? So I feel like the reason why things are finally start to move for you is because you are finally letting go of this, you know, this devil energy, which is like restriction, limitation, limiting beliefs. Also perfectionism, okay? Perfectionism a lot of times can hold us back. It does feel like you have been stuck in some kind of like limiting pattern behavior that was preventing you to progress, was preventing you to move forward. And you're finally allowing yourself to be who you are. Two of Pentacles is saying that you're building momentum right now. Okay? You're building momentum, and this is that period when the waves are starting to happen with the Two of Pentacles. This is your momentum approaching. You're building something infinite, right? It's like, yes, you're still figuring it out. It's still not finalized yet, but it's progress, it's movement forward. And the Two of Pentacles is showing to me that you're focused on finding something infinite, finding something long lasting. You're not focusing anymore on short-term results, instant gratification, instant like feedback and results. You're starting to focus more on longevity. You're starting to focus more on long-lasting solutions, long-lasting results, something that will build your name and will build your legacy. You're focusing on building long-lasting wealth, long-lasting career, respect, honor, recognition, because you want to be known for who you are. You don't want to fit in. I feel like you want to be known for who you are exactly, especially if you're an artist. if you're a creative. I feel like you're not chasing virality, you're rather chasing you're chasing legacy. Yeah, I feel like that's the best way we can put it. It's like something long lasting. The 10 of Pentacles. This is that old money energy. You know, this is that money that comes from legacy. So I feel like you're also focusing on building a name, building a future for your generation, not just you. So this is why things are finally going to be moving forward for you. Let's see your tea leaves. What is the message, Spirit, for the collective that is being reached by this reading and this message in this time? I feel like Spirit is saying take the green one. It's the only one. Oh, okay. Let's see. Wow, you got a lot of tea leaves. That's okay. I feel like sometimes the tea leaves can be very specific. So let's start with this green here. Happiness. Okay, we also have romance is in the air. Wow, this is beautiful because, you know, I feel like you're finally like allowing yourself to feel like passion for what you're doing. And this is why it's going to finally move, because you're allowing your passion to move you instead of like your, how do I say this? It's not your intellect, but it's like your maybe being overly strategic, I would say, or like being overly logical. Because, you know, again, like there's time and place for a strategy, but if you're trying to connect with individuals, we connect through resonance. We connect because we relate to something, not because something feels logical to us, or, you know, our first initial instinct is not like, wait, does this like sound right to me, or does this, you know, work with me logically? We feel resonance because we're like, I relate to this. I feel like I fit in, or I relate, you know, it resonates with me. I relate to this message or to the subject. And I feel like a lot of you, the reason why things are also going to finally move for you is because you're starting to communicate through passion rather than look at this, you know? Yeah, I hope this is like, I hope I'm able to get my message across. So we have younger woman, dealings a relationship with a younger woman. We have, yeah, great passion. I was literally talking about your passion. We have candle, you will be shown the way. So a lot of you are like reconnecting with maybe a passion that you've had since you were younger, or this can be also something that can help you is connecting with the younger version of you. Why did the younger version of you begin something, or, you know, wanted this at the end in the first place? Were they driven by maybe power and control and being the number one, or were they driven by their passion? Were they driven because of a dream? Were they driven because this would fulfill them? And I feel like a lot of you are starting to act more from a place of like passion, because the devil can also like resemble this energy of like obsession with power, obsession with being number one, obsession with control, obsession with money and wealth. And although those are not bad things to desire, I don't want to say that money is a bad thing. I love money as well. It's one of my favorite things in the world, and I don't feel it's a bad thing to also say it, because we live in a world where money is necessary to survive. And it's true, the more money we have, the better life we can afford for ourselves. And that's why I feel like it's a good thing to also like let yourself accept that, because that's the kind of world that we live in. So it's okay, you know? But it's also something that we shouldn't let ourselves get like unhealthily, I hope that's a word, obsessed with. I feel like you need to hear that your passion will naturally lead to wealth. This is the natural byproduct of your journey. It's wealth and success and stability. Great worry over nothing. And we have the hammock, taking a vacation physically or mentally. Yeah, I feel like mentally you're finally like taking the load off. This more feels like mentally, because you could have been feeling like very worried. Yeah, getting the worries get the best out of you, and maybe that was like affecting you mentally, maybe even physically, right? So I also feel like the reason why things are finally able to move forward for you is because you're not constantly worrying. You're not constantly questioning, am I doing this right? Is this the right thing to do? Is this the correct step to take, you know? A lot of you are starting to just like act out of your pure passion, which is naturally, I mean, think about it. If you just act on what you truly feel passionate about and you're not letting fear get in the way, you're just naturally going to do what you're supposed to do. I feel like this is very powerful. Let's see what else. Why are finally things moving forward for you? Okay, we have reserve with the violet. Interesting. This is a very interesting message that I feel like a lot of you, you're not actually focusing more on like, you're not focusing so much on like output, but you're rather like reserving, right? And I feel like this also is something that builds interest in people or builds interest in what you're trying to do. I feel like nowadays is such a common thing to think that, you know, the more we do, the better, the more we work, the better, the more we output, the better. But sometimes that just like makes us so available, that makes us so, you know, like, oh, I can have this at any time and any day that I want. But, you know, think about it, like a meal that costs you more money, it's you savor it more because you know that you're not going to have it like every day of your life. So I feel the same with maybe if you're a creative, it's the same with that. I feel a lot of you are starting to like actually maybe post less, or you're starting to try less, you're starting to show up less, but that also maybe builds like more interest in you or what you're doing, right? Even if whatever you're pursuing, whatever you're doing, I feel like you're starting to become more resourceful of your energy, and you're starting to reserve more. You're starting to build mystery around you, which is like bringing in more interest in you in whichever aspect this resonates with you. But I feel there is like this energy of like you're starting to reserve yourself, and you're only showcasing like the best parts, or you're only showcasing what really matters to you. You know, like you're really asking yourself, like, before I do this, do I really feel passionate about this? Do I really want to do this? Or am I just doing this for the sake of doing something in the moment, you know? I feel like a lot of you are starting to become more intentional with what you're doing, and that's also helping you, like, helping the quality of what you're doing. And it's really like portraying this image of like you're doing the best, you know, you're doing the best. So more intention, okay, more intention. Let's see, what is your final message? Why are things finally moving forward for this collective spirit? Well, I'm allowed to pause. Nothing sacred will rush me. Yeah, so this is what I was saying. It's like a lot of you, you're even allowing yourself to pause. You're even allowing yourself to, you know, not constantly be doing something. Because the pause can also bring you clarity. It can bring you a moment to get inspired as well. When I soften my grip, I create space for grace. Yes, this is why it's finally starting to move forward, because you guys are softening up your grip. With the devil and this card, it's a really big message to me that I feel a lot of you have been obsessed. You have been driven by obsession. And although that is not a bad thing, it can get a little bit unhealthy because if we spiral, right? And I feel like a lot of you are able to soften your grip right now, and you're creating space for things to naturally come into your life. And you're not always feeling like you have like this chokehold on whatever you're trying to, you know, bring into life and bring into existence. You're not stepping away from it. You're just pursuing it from a different perspective. You're pursuing it from a different point of view, which is being yourself, showing up less, but when you show up, you deliver. And I also feel like a lot of you are reconnecting with the root as to why you even started this journey in the first place before you got stuck, right? You're starting to realize that it was always because you felt passionate about it. You felt called to do it. You felt like it was your mission to fulfill this. Before maybe somewhere down the line, you got maybe obsessed with the results, or you got obsessed with something. There is some kind of obsession here with the devil, need for perfection, need for maybe to prove yourself. But again, I feel like you're finally stepping away from that energy and you're able to balance this out, and you will notice how the momentum is naturally starting to build in your favor. So I feel like that's what I have for your reading today. I hope that this resonated for you. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye bye.